Right, for those of you who have just started on using Mesh and you've just loaded up your Mesh node on your browser, which here I'm looking at Dave's browser, that's his name of his browser, so he would put in g6ajw1.local.mesh:8080 /. If that doesn't work, instead of putting your call sign and node name down, you've got to call it something, but I mean in the browser, you can swap that bit there for local node.local.mesh:8080 /, because sometimes the name of the node at the front doesn't always start it off, but local node.local.mesh will. So you've turned on your node and you've got this. So what do you do next? Click on Mesh Status. It's quite straightforward. So you click on the Mesh Status and it will show you what you can see. Now, Dave is on my tunnel server, so he can see quite a bit. At the moment, he can see 2,164 things and 606 nodes. So obviously I am his current neighbour because he's using my router as the tunnel. It's the other part of the international tunnel server for the UK, and that's his local node. And then you can see lots of other nodes down here. So I'm just going to take you through a few. You can see, so all the nodes are on the left and any services that they offer are here. So what's that? Yeah, KG6WXC has got a mesh site, AREDN Nightlies, AREDN Stable, Mattermost and Mesh Map. Okay. So if you want to try something, you would click on one of these links. You can go into their node, but ultimately you'd still have to click on Mesh Status to find these. So you might as well go straight to these and the Mesh Map. And the Mesh Map is actually rewritten, redrawn, as it says there, in real time. So it will show you who's operating and what's happening at the time that the picture is being drawn for you. So it should always be up to date. Although having said that, the UK map part is never totally accurate, but no doubt that will improve over time. So here we come. Here comes the map. It's loading up. It does take a little while because it's quite complex. It's pulling in information from what's happening, but here we are. So first of all, it gives you the different gigahertz other, which is a tunnel. And you can see here, this is the Southern California bit, Santa Barbara, North, and so on. So if I just go out a little bit, zoom out, you can see there's a lot in Southern California, San Diego region especially. And we can move across Dallas, Fort Worth, Springfield in Missouri, Florida, quite a few there. But if you come along to the East Coast, getting more there now. And if we go right across, these grey lines are signifying tunnels. And you should see one that comes, there we are. There you can see it is up to date today. This morning it wasn't, but it is now, so that's good. So you can see who's on at the moment. Right, well, in that part of London, that's going to be Bradley. That's Worthing, so that's another one of our guys, really nice person. And a few more here. That's me. So if I click on that, you should come up with some info. That's Aaron. So there's quite a few, not as many on tonight as there are, but it shows you, as I say, if we do click on it, it should give you some information. But it isn't at the moment. It should open up a box, but not to worry. We won't wait for it, it just says it's me. So let's close that down. So you get the idea. And if you go into your friends, if you've got, if they've got some services, you can go into my one from there, mesh status, and if you look at the mesh status there, you'll see that there are some more services being offered, which hopefully will load up any second. So that's basically what you do. You go from one router to another and you look at what services they've got and you can click on those services. So for example, here I've got mesh chat. So click on there, put my call sign in, log in, and we've got some messages. Yes, so there's been a big football match between West Ham and Spurs today, and unfortunately we lost. We lost 2-1. I'm a Spurs supporter, but don't let that worry you. Aaron's on, along with me. So I'm just going to go back to Aaron and say Spurs should have won by a country mile. And just send it. We'll see what he says. Anyway, you get the idea, and we'll leave that running, but go back to here. So when you get your node up and running, the principle is go to explore, try some of the services. Okay. For example, here's one: camera, user AREDN, password AREDN. So let's see what that brings up. Okay, so user is AREDN. So AREDN, password is AREDN, login. Actually, I should have logged in the one above, but it's a bit silly. That was my mistake. Sorry about that. Let's just come out of there. Just shows you, doesn't it? Should have put that one login. There we are. I don't need to save that password. Depending on the time of day, it could be dark there. But you get the idea. You will get a camera up and you'll be able to see it's actually disabled at the moment by the looks of things. So there we are. Anyway, you get the idea. So going around and trying these is the best thing to do. One of my favourites, Texas air traffic. I love going on this. It's really good. So get a lot of pleasure out of practicing and trying. You can't break it, but you got the general principle how to use it now. Let's just try that one. Okay, get some information about that plane. It will come up as it's connecting. While we're waiting for that to connect, we'll just have a look at the planes. That one, okay, 35,000 feet, 531 knots, and you get the registration info, position, and we'll try that one. Okay, that's an A320. I'll go back to it. That's an A320. Excuse me. 18,400 feet, and so on. Okay, get the idea? And when you finish with that, you can quit. And you can go turn off, well, not turn off, leave it, or you can go hunting or mesh status. It's always mesh status when you're in someone's node, and that will give you a listing of what's going on. Okay, got an interesting little look, I think, at some of the things you can do from your mesh router. I hope that sort of whets your appetite a bit, and you should find it really good in the coming weeks and months. Enjoy.